What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a video about the things I would like to see from the just recently announced Xbox Games Showcase. So, if you happen to have missed the news, they finally announced the showcase for June 7th of this year, which is pretty typical. Usually that first weekend right around the start of June is where everyone is doing their E3 replacement shows. And yesterday, from the time of this video, we got the confirmation of Xbox's, again, June 7th. And especially when your job is reviewing video games, the video games that are about to come up are especially important, which is why my eye is always on shows like these, though I will say this year definitely more so than other years. I have a small laundry list of things I would like to get some sort of news or information about. And so I thought, given the recent announcement of the show itself, that I would go over some of those things and talk about what I would like to see from said show. And then, of course, we can compare it to whatever we actually get. Now, probably worth a mention that in announcing the show, they announced a couple of other things with it right at the same time. For starters, immediately following that show, they're going to be doing a big deep dive of Gears of War E-Day, and so no one really needs to guess about its involvement there. They're also bringing back the Xbox Fan Fest, which is just like a sweepstakes people can enter. Just figured I would go ahead and mention it here. Now, with all that said, let's actually dive into the rest of this and get the first big one out of the way straight away, because obviously, like many people, when I saw that Xbox directly mentioned that they were going to be talking new and upcoming first-party titles, as well as some stuff from third-party. But when I hear huge news on upcoming titles, my mind jumps straight to TES 6, though I admit fully that is wishful thinking on my part. I think it is infinitely more likely that that is still a year or two off at best. I would genuinely be kind of surprised if we hear anything about that before 2027. But still, a man can dream. Now, on a slightly smaller scale, I did want to point out that I would love to hear a little bit from Obsidian, in particular about their upcoming The Outer Worlds 2 DLC. They are supposed to have some planned. We haven't heard anything about those plans just yet. And given that it released in October of last year, it's already been a little bit of a wait, and I would like to know what they have planned there so I can, of course, jump in and cover it. Now, in talking about Obsidian, we all already know that they launched 3 games last year, which was obviously an incredibly busy schedule, and while I would love to hear about whatever they're working on next, obviously it's going to be too soon for that. I don't think we'll hear about Obsidian's next new games for a little while at the very least. Now, with those 2 easy ones out of the way, let's look forward a little bit. Another game that I would like to hear about is the Blade title that is supposed to be in the works with Arcane Studios, with the name making it very obvious, but of course following Blade, the vampire hunting anti-hero, I suppose you could say. Honestly, I think there's a lot of potential there for a really fun action game, especially given with what Arcane was good at, but obviously there's been a lot of shakeups with that studio and closures and things around them, so hard to say exactly what that game will look like, but I know it is still in production and people are excited about it, and I would love to learn something about it, as it has been pretty quiet since its initial reveal in, I think it was like 2023? The very end of 2023 anyway, but obviously that would be great. Now, next up we have Fable. Now, the Fable reboot we know is supposed to be coming here in 2026, though probably worth a mention that the previous look at it via their developer direct in January gave me pretty much all the information I personally needed. I'm pretty pumped for that game, and so while, them showing off new gameplay and stuff will always be welcome, personally, what I'm looking for here is a release date. So with it supposed to be releasing in 2026, I think this showcase would be the perfect time to give us that release date for the end of the year, Q3 or Q4, and give it a proper lead up via, marketing and everything. So again, would I be happy to see more stuff, gameplay, trailers, etc.? Yes, of course, but the main thing I really want from that one specifically is the release date. Next up, I wanted to mention, of course, Clockwork Revolution, the next title from In Exile Entertainment, which they have been working on for quite some time, though it looks like time well spent, as all of the previous looks at this title have looked particularly interesting to me. However, it would still be great to get more information about it. We know from previous stuff that it's going to be this sort of first-person RPG combining a lot of different elements, emphasis on the RPG, character creation, character building. They've gone over a little bit of the details there, but that combined with a sort of time-traveling butterfly butterfly effect type storyline across various points of history for this weird like steampunk setting that they've put everything in, and it's going to be an interesting title for sure, and I would just love to learn more about it because we've only got a little bit of drip feed information here, and I think a showcase like this is probably the right time to start showing this game off, as it has been in the works for quite a while, and I think it's probably getting to be about that time after all. And then, last but not least, State of Decay 3. So this may seem like something out of left field if you watch my channel a lot, but State of Decay 2 in particular is one of those games that I really enjoyed playing on my own well before I really made much mention of that kind of thing. I played quite a bit of State of Decay 2. I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see what they do with that formula when State of Decay 3 rolls around. But for those who are maybe unfamiliar with it, it's definitely a survival zombie type situation where you lead a group of survivors against undead zombie hordes. You've probably seen the likes of it in various franchises and everything, but State of Decay managed to put its own really fun, unique spin on it by, you kind of managing a proper little group of survivors and having to swap between them and utilize their abilities and everything. And it was a really enjoyable experience overall. 3 has been in the works for a while, and I would simply love to hear more about it. Truth be told, I have no idea whether or not I'll wind up covering it on the channel, but it's a game I want to play for myself at the very least. But barring all of those particular entries, obviously I hope they announce something new or interesting there just to throw everybody a surprise curveball at the same time, but either way, hopefully it'll make for a good show and some upcoming games and release dates, etc. I think there's a lot of potential this year, which is why I wanted to make this video and talk about it a little bit, and obviously we'll see how that pans out in the long run. But speaking of, I'd love to know what you guys think, or if there's anything you'd like to see at this particular show. I know there will likely be some stuff around their upcoming console, Project Helix. This is a PC channel, so I gotta be real, I don't care about that too much personally, but I'm sure there are people excited for it, and I suppose that's the kind of thing I'm asking for in the comments. So, with that said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. But regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.